And the last one is also a shocker to me on several levels, but it is the office of the Prime Minister.
What you said?
I know. For the last 3 years, the office of the Prime Minister has not reported how it has spent $12 billion that
12 billion?
That the taxpayers have handed over. No.
This is not a call out against the governing administration. This is not a cuss out against the past administration. What we are facing, I started this program, I'll end this program on the most solemn note.
Yes.
75% of us as Jamaicans believe that corruption is a way of life, are just so the thing's set. And if Jamaicans feel that 92% of politicians are corrupt, the statistics didn't say, nor did it ask, which party more corrupt than the other. The statistics said politicians. So what this means, Andre and Jeanette,
yes,
and that's why I don't choose the audience that I speak to. I need all Jamaicans to join hands. This is not a class thing. It's not an education thing. I mean, I talk straight and dry. If we don't get a handle on this, we are going over a cliff and there ain't nobody who's going to save us.
Yeah, man.
We have seen countries right across the globe.
Yeah.
And I mentioned Haiti earlier. I didn't mention Haiti for the fun of it. I mentioned Haiti for you to understand that right in our backyard, we can see examples of what happens when we don't have a grip on democracy. This is not a JLP or a PNP problem. It's not an NDM problem. It's not a P problem. It's a Jamaican problem. And I'm not here to say it happens in other parts of the world. I am not anywhere else. My passport and my Jamaican papers don't give me another nationality. I tell you, Mr. Shervington was right. I'm on Barnia, and many of us do not have an opportunity to leave. So if we don't start asking our people around us, I mean, I call out the politician, we not put them on a no bright light. Put ourselves under that bright light. Each and every one of us as Jamaicans have contributed to where we are by either how we have acted or how we have failed to act. And we now have an opportunity. You know, Eminem says, last chance, one opportunity I've got. Yeah, that rhyme, that rap. I don't know. I think I'm showing my age tonight. I'm so sorry.
Rapper.
I'm not gonna rap it.
But you really love music, Daniel, because you're going to Eminem now.
Yes. I actually like Eminem. So in his 8 Mile album, he talks about the last opportunity that you've got. And I want to say that to us tonight. This is our last opportunity, the last stand. This is where we are tonight, the last stand. What are we going to do? Are we going to fight under the shade as it happened in 300 with the Spartans? Are we going to stand up and fight underneath the shade? Or are we going to walk away and say, this is a them problem enough for we? We passed the blame stage. We're not there to blame nobody but myself and Jeanette and say we're not doing enough.
But then the question to Jeanette tonight. How we as Jamaicans can monitor the monies that are unaccounted for.
Yeah.
It's about $1.7 trillion that is unaccounted for. What about new monies that are coming about? How are we going to take control of those monies and making sure that they're unaccounted for? What are the ways in which we're going to account for them?
Yeah, I'm really glad for that question. And it's a perfect segue coming from what Daniel said, because I actually agree with Daniel. You know, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. The solution is really the citizens. I don't have the politicians here. I have them here because they're in my periphery. But my faith is if we tell the people of Jamaica some basics, and I know masters them need, right? Yes. And answer that question that you ask. I want to really make the point, guys, that the parliamentarians who have really allowed all of these reports to come to them every year, and you never hear them saying anything about it, you notice, whether you're on the opposition or you're on the other side, not a peep. It's them supposed to get it. They're not getting it. Them not saying anything. But it's the people of Jamaica, really, who hire those parliamentarians. We don't use the word hire, but when you vote, that's the mechanism to really hire a parliamentarian. They really are people who work for you. Now, if you have people who work for you and you are not monitoring them and you are not holding them to account, then I agree with Daniel, the problem is us. So how do we do it? The first thing I want to say to us is that right now this year, we are spending about $7.6 billion on other entities to watch government. The Auditor General getting $1.2 billion. Yes. Integrity Commissioner get 1.2. The Parliament is MOCA is 2 billion. That's a lot. Wow. Yes. And you have Indicom that is watching a special set of public servants, which is police. I get 778. By the time you don't add up the top 7, we are spending $7.6 billion for people to watch people who you are paying to do their jobs. If I were to ask your listeners, say that again, Dre.
7.7 billion.
7.6 approximately for the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 public entities. We are paying approximately 7.6 billion. Now, are we getting any value? The answer is really, I don't think so.
No, we're not getting any value.
We're really not, Dre. And I'm not just saying that. But part of the reason we don't get any value is that it's a relay. Right? It's a relay, and the citizens have a role to play in the relay. When we get the information that we get from the Auditor General, thank God for this program and others like yours that allow us to inform and to continue the conversation, because a couple of years ago, that Gleaner print and it dead, a couple of people talk about it and it dead. So programs like this give it life, and you give us a length of time to explain so people can really understand. So the first thing I want people to know that they can do, and it's a responsibility you have, is to try and read them Auditor General reports, folks. That is what I started to do in 2014, Andre. What?
But Miss Calder, them Auditor General report too long and stretched out.
May I have good news for you. You know what the good news is? And I want everybody listening to me to put it to the test and come back and tell Andre if Miss Calder was lying. You only need to read this summary. Leave Daniel and me if you go read the whole 30 page. But I promise you, Andre, if you read the little 3-page summary what the Auditor General faithfully do, you really don't need no more. But after you read the little 3-page summary, because talk it to Dre, what I just told you about those 6 entities, you need more than that?
No, we don't need no more than that. We need to pack them up and send them go somewhere and lock them up.
Exactly. So all you need is one paragraph in that summary what tell you about the 6 entities. So what are you going to do about that now? Just sit down and talk to Andre about it? Let me tell you what JAMP has been doing and what I believe if more citizens were doing it would work. Now, everything not bad in Jamaica. We actually have been given some gifts that other countries don't have. You see Daniel talking about Barbados. Barbadians don't have what I'm about to tell you about. There's a special legislation called the Access to Information legislation. You know about it, Andre? No, sir?
Yeah, but we still not get the access because we can't know who get the contract then.
Hold on, man. Oh, you ever try? Tell me how much you ever try. Because when JAMP right, and even before I started JAMP, Andre, I started just as a citizen. I would read what is going on and say, what is it at the Gleaner? And I would write to the permanent secretary. And it's not all the time you get a response, But I would say to you at the beginning, 6 out of 10 times I would get an answer. So I am saying to you, Andre, if you are spending the money, if the reports are supposed to be coming back to you, if this is your country, if it's you own the public companies, them, if it's your employees, them supposed to be giving you this, and you're not getting it, and you're not doing nothing about it, then a fool for fault. So you have a country. What most countries don't have is a legislation that says if you write in and say to the permanent secretary, listen, PS, it's 3 months ago I get this report about this $1 trillion and $902 billion, report. Yes. Where are you reaching this matter and how soon the Auditor General going to get the first report? The law said that she has to answer you. No, you don't get it every time, but 6 out of 10 no better than 0, Andre. Now, what if some Jamaicans started to do that? Well, this Jamaican started to do that. And I start to get answers. And I can tell you about the things that start to change when people start to pay attention and get over the 9-day wonder. So how about we start there, for example? Isn't that a practical thing we can do? Now, our business and we supposed to mind it? And we have a legislation that says we can. The talking is not all we're going to do.
People would argue that it's just going to be a talk shop. We don't have no power to influence and to.
Of course you have power. Don't say that, Andre.
You want one example? Ask me for an example of success that Jump has had. And I
give
will
us
tell
one
you
example.
All right. So in 2018, I'm going to get to you straight because it never happened fast, right? But it took a long time for Jamaica to get here, so it not changed overnight. In 2018, I read something in an Auditor General report about billions of dollars that was invested by a particular government entity. In Jamaica, $60 million not supposed to spend by anybody on the cabinet, no. But they had billions of dollars what they spend. Cabinet never hear, Ministry of Finance never hear, and then permanent secretary never hear about that. So I said, but Lord, what can I go so? Because when I was in government, me couldn't spend $50,000 and not report it. So this matter was being investigated by a particular government entity. And you know what I did? Twice for the year, I write the entity and I write the DPP. And I said, DPP, where is this matter? And I write the body that is investigating it. And I said, where is this matter? That's all I ask, 2 times for the year. Last year, the entity that's investigating me tell me, say, it done, it I go get prosecute, and them I go extradite the people then. But you know what the head of that entity said to me, Andre? Him said to me, Miss Calder, I go tell you the truth. You know, if your name they write this thing where they did long time.
Repeat that.
Him said to me, say, you know, if your name the right, may I give it to you as me get it. You know, if your name the right, this thing would have did dead long time. No, it's not that they don't want to investigate it, but there's a whole heap of things coming into this entity. Right. 5 years ago, if there was not a citizen just writing in twice a year and say, wait there, where it reached, DPP, where it is, it end up under one pile of other things and people forget about it. Now, that never take much out of me, Andre. But the good result is it's going to be prosecuted and they might extradite the people, them come back to Jamaica. What did that take out of me as a citizen? Why everybody else can lean in and see what could be possible? My job is now a paid job. But for the first 3 years, I gave up my job to start Jump. 1 year without an income, and the first 2 working pro bono. And now, yes, it is a paid job.
So before I get to you, Daniel. Yes, Daniel, go ahead. What I love the discussion, Jamaica. I hope you guys enjoying this discussion tonight with this powerful. You see, the woman started as a volunteer and she's now a paid worker. Yes, Daniel, you go forward.
That's where I want to go, Andre. So here's the problem we're going to have. If we're going to look at it to say that Miss Calder is being paid to do it, what's the greatest price for you? What would it cost any Jamaican to monitor the people that they employ, that is supposed to be working for them, that you are paying? These people don't work for themselves, No public servant works for themselves. They work for you as a Jamaican. All of this land belongs to us. And when we sit back and decide that we're not being paid, so we can't bother, what happens to the environment around us? What happened to the marshes? What happened to the environmental areas that should be protected that are not being protected but are being developed?
You're talking about the 750 acres of land.
Me just a point out, say, when we decide that we can't be bothered because that's a smarty where I get paid for do, the consequences are not just for the smarty where I get paid for do, are all the way I suffer, So I want us to appreciate tonight that the problem that we have on deck, right on the rock, is not something that is to be solved only by Miss Calder. Miss Calder has given us the answer. Remember me tell you, I come in here for help. Miss Calder has told me how we can do that together. Miss Calder has Jump, and through Jump, she has a portal. She can tell you more about that you can ask some questions. It's election time. What are we asking the people who want to represent us? Are we going to hold them accountable to the promises that they've made? Are we going to stand firm and decide that this is the one shot we have? One opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment. Not my line, but that of Eminem. One shot. This is it. This is the moment. And I'm calling on every Jamaican, yard, abroad. P, J, P, P, whatever. Shed your colors tonight. Shed your colors tonight. The only
Shed your colors tonight. I'm going to take a quick break with Set a Rat Trap.